My mother is dead. I know that is a very drastic statement, and by my expression, you can probably tell that she's not literally dead. What I mean by that is now and forever, my mother is dead to me. Let me explain that because there was a lot of backstory to it. It came to a screeching halt, let's say yesterday. No, sorry, the day before yesterday, Wednesday, when I came back from my treatment. But before that, let me give you a little backstory. My mother is a conspiracy theorist. Always has been, always will be. And the fact that she's a teacher, she has this personality where rather than sharing her opinion as just that, an opinion, and being open to other people's opinion, she is teaching you, even if you, no, especially if you don't want to hear it, why she is right and you are wrong. That is who she is. It's not just something she does, it is a core personality trait because she has cultivated that throughout her entire life. I used to make excuses for it. I'm just fucking done now. So, let me go back. Before, I just want to say, it's not all bad. There was a lot of good things about our childhood. We were homeschooled. We grew up in a straw bale house. We had solar panels. We had huge garden. Like we had a very unique, very different, and I would say in a good way, childhood, and mostly happy. Aside from if you've seen one of my previous videos from I don't know, a couple weeks, couple months, no, a couple months ago at this point. Wow, time goes by so fast when you have cancer. um, anyway, aside from the fact that our parents never really unconditionally loved us, there was always conditions. But aside from that, we had a pretty normal, or not pretty normal, we had a very abnormal but very good childhood. Yet there were some problems, and the major one was my mother. So when I was 15, my mother decided I can't take this anymore, I have to leave, which was difficult for multiple reasons. First of all, of course, it's always difficult when one of your parents leaves because as a child, even though I was 15, as a child, you're always like, am I to blame? Even if they say, no, 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 you always question, you always wonder that. The second thing was, I was 15, my brother was 12, and my brother's autistic. He has the mental capacity about of a 2 to 3 year old. So he always needs someone there to supervise him, to make sure that he's okay. And when my mother left, my dad couldn't take care of him by himself, of course, so we had to give him up. And he was, he's now with a foster family. He got very lucky, very good foster family. He's in a good situation. So that has been handled. That is very good. I'm happy where he ended up, the way he's living. He has the best life that he could. So I'm happy on that front. So I'm not upset. Actually, I'm not really upset. I don't give a fuck about my mother anymore. It's more like I'm just done with her. I'm finally, after all this time, I am free of her. That's how I feel. So I'm not angry because she left. I'm not angry because she abandoned my brother, because in the grand scheme of things, it was the best thing that could happen. What I'm angry about is what she did after. And that is go to the extreme of saying, I am no longer a mother. I am no longer your mother. You are no longer my son. And she didn't just do that to me, of course. She did that to my sister. She even did that to my grandmother of like, I'm no longer your daughter. You're no longer my mother. And it's just like, okay, leaving is one thing. Why do you have to go to the extreme of denying us as your family? Do you know how not how fucked up, but you know how much that fucks up a child? Okay, I was 15. It's not like I was 3 or like a child, but still, that really messes you up. Luckily, my sister had already moved out, so it didn't hit her as much. Especially since my mother went to live with my sister for a while. So it's like, oh, I'm abandoning you and your autistic brother. You are no longer my children, but I'm going to go live with your sister. Like, really? That's fucked up. That is really fucked up. Unfortunately for me, I wasn't ready to lose my mother yet. I wasn't ready to give up on the relationship. So even though there was a period of, I think, about a year where I was just pissed at her, I refused to speak to her, I eventually forgave her because I wasn't ready to give up. I wasn't ready to lose my mother. And I say forgive in brackets because I never truly forgave her. I just pretended to forgive her because I wasn't ready to give up on that relationship. And for the last 18 years, there's been this weird relationship of she doesn't think of me as her son, I think of her as my mother, yet she doesn't act congruently with what she says. Her actions are like, oh, if you need a car, yeah, sure, I can lend you my car. Oh, we're going to the restaurant, let me pay for you. Oh, you need like new shoes, let me buy you new shoes. Okay, maybe once in a while a friend will do something like that for another friend, but not very often. You know who does that? Mothers. Fucked up. So wait, I'm not your son, but you're acting like you're my mother. What are you doing in my head? Why are you fucking doing this to me? And she's like, yeah, okay, I'm no longer your mother, but we can be friends. I knew that was bullshit. We're way too different. We never in a million years would have become friends without the fact that she's my mother. So even though I knew it was bullshit, I played along because I wasn't ready to lose my mother. And there's been this up and down, left and right, back and forth, fucked up uncertainty in my life of, is she my mother? Is she not? Is she my friend? Is she not? Like, what the fuck is she? And because of her personality of teacher, it's like, this is the truth. It's not, this is my opinion. It's, this is the truth. These are the facts. You're wrong. Like, she doesn't use those words, but that is always the message that comes across. And that's been my entire life. I've not always done my best to ignore that because I'm like, she's my mother. I'm not willing. I'm not ready to give up on that. But yesterday, when we were driving back, because I borrowed her car to go to the treatment, so I went back to her house and she drove me back to my sister's. And it's about a 10-minute drive. And during that drive, she was going on about conspiracy theories about how COVID is supposedly going to come back and they might force us to wear masks and get vaccinated again. She's like, if they tell you you need to get vaccinated in order to keep getting your immunotherapy treatments, don't do it. And I very calmly, very politely responded, please don't tell me what to do. I appreciate the fact that you're sharing this information with me. I know you only care about me. You're only trying to help. But please respect me. Please don't tell me what to do. And she got upset of like, you're ignoring the truth. You're burying your head in the sand. You're an idiot. Like, she didn't use those exact words, but that was the message clearly coming across. She's right. I'm wrong. I'm an idiot for not believing the same thing as her. And that made me realize, like, she doesn't fucking respect me. She never respected me. She doesn't respect anyone. She's so fucking selfish, centered on herself and her version of the truth, and spreading that truth to as many people as she can, that she's just gonna babble on and on and on and spew her bullshit on everyone, even when they don't want to, especially when they don't want to because no one really fucking wants to. There's a few people that go to her classes that she gives and, get value from that. Okay, that's great. I'm your son or your friend. I don't want to know all this fucking shit. Shut the fuck up. And I just realized yesterday, like, she doesn't respect me. She has never respected me, and I don't think she will ever be able to respect me. And it made me realize, like, my mother, the mother that I once knew and had, died 15 years ago when she left and rejected me as her son. I just wasn't ready to accept it. But yesterday, it just made me realize, like, she doesn't respect me. Why should I respect her? She has been a negative influence in my life for the last 18 years. She has sucked my energy. And I just went along because I'm like, she's my mother. I can't really do anything else. But I just got to the point I'm like, nope, I'm fucking done. I can't do this anymore. So I wrote her a letter simply because I know that if I try to have a conversation, she'd either cry or try once again to tell me how I'm wrong and blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, no, I need to express what I need to express. Let me write a letter. So I wrote a letter explaining, you don't respect me. I can't have a relationship with you anymore. You're no longer my mother. You haven't been my mother for a long time. I finally accepted that. We're not friends. We have never been friends. At this point, we're nothing more than acquaintances. And I gave her an ultimatum. If you can respect me, I will be courteous around you, but nothing more. If you can't respect me, that's it. We're done. No relationship ever for the rest of my life. I am completely comfortable being in the same room as you, as not speaking. And it's almost the time of the 10 minutes, so that's just the gist of the story. I might add a little more in the next video, but that's it.